What's up, everybody, and welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. I got a few emails and a few comments about Bostin Loyd's new video. Not the one about his whole big drug stack and big drug cycle and stuff, but his opinion, I guess you would say, or his knowledge of Dallas Mcarver, who'd been shooting his mouth off about Bostin. Now, Bostin's a young kid, and I'm getting questions like, do you think Bostin's telling the truth? Do you think he's lying about the stuff that he's saying? And I actually believe him. Okay, I'm going to tell you why. Now, a lot of bodybuilders lie. They lie through their teeth about everything. And I'm not really sure why it's this fantasy land that they live in. That's not really reality. It's like their own reality. But bottom line is, there is actual reality out there that these guys live in. And the people that are in touch with reality see the shit that's going on clear as day, and they usually don't like it. So Bostin doesn't like what Dallas had to say about him. Now, Bostin seems very disenchanted already with the sport of bodybuilding. I mean, he did win the Contra Costa, but to do what he had to do to win it, you know, I think he knows now. I mean, it's pretty extreme. And he mentions that he hired this guru who you've got Cody Lewis up to 290 pounds. He trained Nick Trigilli, who is the Muscle Med sponsor. I've seen that guy in person. He's a fucking monster. And he trains this Dallas Mcarver guy. So I think he knows to get to the next level where he needs to be, he's going to have to do some shit that he doesn't want to do. And after hearing some of the stuff he talks about, like judges being paid off and shit like that he's personally seen and heard, I think he's a little disenchanted because now he says pretty much, you know, this fucking stupid sport of bodybuilding, a stupid hobby, but he's talking bad, like down about bodybuilding. So I think he's more, you know what, I want to do this for me, I want to get big, I want to be huge, and I'm not going to subject myself to killing myself before I'm 25, drug-wise, because he talks flat out about his body gets toxic if he takes certain things. He doesn't want to stuff himself till he pukes up the food, and he just wants to enjoy, you know, bodybuilding, which it seems like a lot of the things that you run into in the sport of bodybuilding can really bring you down. So the kid kind of has a positive attitude, and what I like about him is he likes to prove people and things wrong. Like flat out, he's like, "This is bullshit, Cody Lewis. You know why? Because of this." And you know, he actually slipped up and said the guy's name. The trainer's name is John, who I don't know who the fuck he's talking about, but I mean, it's interesting that this guy had Dallas on 15 IUs of human growth hormone, pharmaceutical grade, syntholing every fucking body part, and I think it was like 7 grams of gear, so 7,000 milligrams of anabolic steroids. Now that's a combination of injectables and orals, and I mean, there's no doubt about it, the guy made a huge, drastic transformation. And I think Bostin realizes now too also that by doing what he did and coming out and talking about his drug cycle and doing what he's doing right now, a supplement company like BSN or Muscle Tech or any of those companies, they're not going to touch him with a 10-foot pole. There's no fucking way they're going to hire him. The only one I could see hiring him for their company is maybe Dave Palumbo. Because Dave is, you know, big on like the mutant look and talking about drugs and not being, you know, kind of, I don't know what the word for it is, kind of being like, kind of shying around it, beating around the bush and, you know, not really talking about it even though it's a big deal. And I do agree with Bostin on a couple of things. Now, steroids are more important to be a pro than massage. They're more important than over-the-counter supplements. Now, what I don't agree with Bostin on is the diet and training not being more important than the gear, okay? Because you can take steroids and sit on your ass and you're not going to grow. You can take steroids and not eat the food. Now, if you notice, what Bostin couldn't take about this trainer's program was he was puking up the food. He couldn't keep the food down. He couldn't overeat, or what did he call it? Force feed himself enough food to grow. So technically, if he had the money, he could take the drugs, but he couldn't force feed the food, so therefore he wouldn't get the results. So which one is really more important? You can take all the drugs, not force feed the food, you're not going to grow. You can take all the drugs and train like a fucking banana head, you're not going to grow. You'll still get results, but you're not going to get the maximum results. So I think that I would place importance on 3 of those things: drugs, training, and diet all together. I'd say that they are, without a doubt, the 3 musketeers of what it takes to become a pro. You're not going to become a pro unless you have those 3 things dialed in and are willing to go further with all three things and more extreme dieting, more extreme training, more extreme drug use than the next guy if you're going to beat him on stage. That's just my opinion and what I've seen over the last 20-something years, and from the people that are national level as well as pro that I've talked to, you know, a lot of them actually do not put as much emphasis on the drugs, which is interesting, because I think some of them have tried to maintain their physiques while not training hard or not dieting right, and they look like shit. So that's when they realize, shit, it's not all about the drugs. I have to keep up with these other two things to make the drugs work. So that's my opinion and my take on what's going on with, you know, the Bostin Loyd, I think is it? Yeah, Bostin Loyd, young kid, you know, seems to have his head screwed on straight. At least he tells the truth, which is rare out there. But I think that I think he will have a big following in time. You know, some people are not going to like him because he's telling the truth. And just like that GH15 character, a lot of people do not like him because he tells things that are not supposed to be told. Now, whether they're true or not, I don't fucking know. Whether GH15 is more than one person, I don't fucking know. But some of the things that he has said have been spot on. Some of the things seem kind of far-fetched, but bottom line is more than likely Bostin will continue to grow because he's a young kid. Whether or not he ever competes again, you know, who knows? Maybe if the situation's right and he kind of gets back into it, fine. Do I see a big supplement contract coming his way? Not until this shit dies down a long time from now and is forgotten about and he reinvents himself. Then I can see maybe a contract coming his way. biologytraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below. www.biologytraining.com is the blog, and we're out.